Hi friends, today we are looking at Zerodha's charges. What is the amount that you pay when you trade or buy stocks for the long term using Zerodha? Is it really 0 rupees? Is it really free? A lot of you who are new to the stock market wonder about this. So let me break it down for you in full details. If you do not have a Zerodha account already, I highly recommend that you use Zerodha for your trading. I'll give you a link to open the account in description below. When we look at Zerodha's charges, I would break them down in three pieces. First is long-term purchases of stocks, that is equity. Second is intraday. If you are doing intraday trading, that is one. And third is F&O. The charges for all three differ. For long term, if you are buying a stock, holding it in your demat account, and then selling it, Zerodha indeed charges you 0 rupees for that. But that does not mean it's free. So let's go down and look at all the charges. So first, let's look at equity delivery, which is your long-term purchase or purchases which you will take delivery of and then you could sell even after 2 days. That is fine. Over here, Zerodha charges you zero brokerage. So indeed, Zerodha brokerage is zero. But the government has certain taxes, which is 0.1% on buy and sell. So on both sides, you will be paying 0.1%. This STT, if you have purchased 100 shares of 10 rupees each. So your turnover is 1000 and you will be paying 0.1% on it, which will be 1 rupee. So similarly, on whatever your turnover, you are paying this. Then there are NSE and BSE charges, which are 0.00345 and 0.00375. These are transaction charges again on the turnover from the exchange. It could either be BSE or NSE. Further, you are paying 18% as GST on your brokerage, SEBI charges and transaction charges. So these are your transaction charges by the exchange. Your brokerage charges are here and your SEBI charges is rupees 10 on per crore. So those will attract GST. So the 1 rupee we talked about over here will remain as it is because it is already a tax, securities transaction tax. That is what it is called. And then there are stamp charges, which is rupees 1500 on crore or 0.015, which is only on the buy side. Now, let's just simply go to the Zerodha calculator and look at how much this really comes out into. So we go and look at say delivery equity. Say I bought 100 shares and I bought a quantity of 100 shares at a price of 100 and after 2 months I sold it for 125 on NSE as the exchange. So what is it that I finally end up paying as charges? So you would see over here their turnover is total of 22,500. Your securities transaction tax is 23 rupees. Your exchange transaction tax is 0.78. Your DP charges is 1593. Now see, understand DP charges. DP charges is basically CDSL or NSDL in some cases. They are your depository, your demat shares are kept with them. For safely keeping your shares in there, whenever you sell your stocks, they charge a fees to you, which is shown over here. So if you do not sell while buying, you will not pay this, and this is a fixed cost for every sell transaction. So if you sell one share in a day, of 100 rupees, you're still paying 1593. If you are selling 10 shares, even then you are paying 1593. If you sell 1 lakh shares, even 10,000 crores worth of transaction, you are paying the same amount. So when you are selling, remember you can buy in small lots. You can buy as a SIP. But if you sell only one share at a time, one share in a day, you may be losing a lot of money by paying DP charges. So this is one very important thing to take care of when you are doing long-term or delivery purchases with Zerodha, because this 15.93 is a fixed cost. I believe this is the most important to understand. GST on the above charges is rupees 14. Your SEBI charges is 0.02, stamp duty is 2, your total tax and charges is 41.87. So if the 100 rupees stock became 100.42, I will break even and recover my costs for the quantity which I have mentioned over here, which is 100. So on a turnover of 22,000 rupees, I am paying roughly 41 rupees as or 42 rupees as charges in delivery. Now this is pretty constant across all brokerages. For long term, I don't think any brokerage will give you a better deal than this. So this is pretty much how the Indian market is. Just remember, when you are selling, you have DP charges. So your long term is pretty clear. Intraday becomes interesting, and let's understand, if you are doing intraday, what would be your charges. So let's quickly look at that as well. So for intraday, we are assuming buy price of 300, sell price of 305, and quantity as 400, because hey, there is 5x margin as well, so why not? The turnover becomes 2,42,000. Do you want to take a guess how much the charges would be? The total charges and taxes are just 92 rupees 33. Remember, in long term, for just 22,500 or thereabout, you paid 42 rupees as charges, and over here it's 92 rupees for a turnover of 2,42,000. So indeed the charges are much lesser for intraday, but hey, it's a risky thing. You are trading, you have to square off your position the same day. I also want to tell you one more thing about intraday trades. The market may close at 3:30 p.m. But if you do not close your trade yourself by 3:15 p.m., Zerodha will charge you more, and I will get back to that. Now, where does Zerodha make money in intraday? In intraday, buy and sell, both transactions are 20 rupees each plus GST, which we will see below. So 40 rupees over here goes to Zerodha, 20 for buying transaction, 20 for sale transaction. The GST over here is 8.7. Your exchange transaction charge is also 8 rupees 35, and your STT, your securities transaction tax, is 31 rupees. SEBI charges is minimal. Stamp duty is 4 rupees. Your total taxes and charges, as I said, is 92. Points to break even is 23 paise. Now we can look at a sample contract note to look at the PNL over here. So if you see intraday equity NSE, buy 300, sell price 305, quantity 400, gross profit 2000 rupees, charges minus 92 rupees, you made a profit of 1908. All the breakup of charges is here. So that's how intraday works. In intraday, Zerodha does take some money, and Zerodha will also charge you 50 rupees plus GST more if you do not close your trade by 3:15 p.m. yourself. I suggest by 3:14 p.m. itself, please close your trade. So that's intraday. Now let's look at F&O. Futures and options may have separate pricing. There are two different tabs over here. Your brokerage is flat 20 rupees if it is options, but it is 0.03 or 20, whichever is lower in case of futures. Your STT for futures is 0.01, for options it's 0.05. Both are charged on sell side. Your transaction charges by exchange, again 0.002% here and 0.053% here. 18% GST will be standard. Your 10 rupees per crore on GST as SEBI charges is still common. Your stamp charges vary a little. Again, it is only on buy side and either 200 or 300 rupees per crore, but again, it is the lower of 0.002 or 0.003. Now let's go to the calculator and look at how this works. For futures, say if you bought something like a Nifty for 18,150 and you sold it for 18,180, quantity being 50, your turnover becomes 18 lakhs 16,500. Your brokerage is 40 rupees. Your STT is 91. We can see all the other charges and GST here. Your total charges are 201. So points to break even is 4. So if 18,150 Nifty goes to 18,154, you will break even. 0.02 of course. So net PNL in this trade was 1,200 rupees. Let's look at the contract note. You will see over here that I bought for 18,150, I sold for 18,180, quantity was 50, gross profit was 1,500, and these were the charges. Total charges was 200, take home was 1298. Now this PNL, remember, is only based on 0.16% appreciation in the market price of Nifty, which is a very small change. If this change was 10x, say 1.6% change, this figure would have been 10x, and the charges would have also been roughly 10x. The brokerage would have been common. So that's how FNO works. Your options would again be similar. I will give you a link to this calculator in description in case you want to calculate your charges, but I hope you understood some of the important things related to taxation and DP charges for long-term purchases, and the penalty if you do not close your intraday trade yourself, which is by 3:15. Don't wait for the market to come till 3:30. If you want to open a Zerodha account, I'm giving you a link in description. If you have any questions, please ask me in comments. See you next time.